What happens when two of the most electrifying players in the WNBA make history in the same game? Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell just shattered records, set the court on fire, and took the Indiana Fever to heights they haven't seen in nearly a decade. But this isn't just a story about points. It's about a new era in women's basketball. If you think you've seen it all, wait until you hear how Clark and Mitchell are rewriting the WNBA playbook, one historic performance at a time. Stay with us as we dive deep into the game that changed everything. Clark and Mitchell strode to court with an intoxicating level of focus. The pursuit of relevance had proved elusive for the Indiana Fever, but these two stars wowed fans, tossing in a phenomenal 65 points in a match. Caitlin Clark, as always quite focused, had perfectly shot her way to 35 points, a new rookie record. Kelsey Mitchell, in contrast, lavished 19.6 points on average, a career best, and not just stayed on the road, but reached the top peak ever in her form. It was not just a game where many points were scored, it was a show of the harmony that exists when two players of such qualities are playing in complete harmony. Clark's perimeter shooting and assist were high octane for the Fever's offense, whilst Mitchell's creativity on shot selection was what tipped the scale for the Fever. The spectators of this game knew it was the start of something even bigger than this. They were witnessing the new era of the WNBA. Wins did not solely define these players, they were clearing obstacles, restructuring perspectives, and explaining that the Fever is indeed not buried under the broomstick anymore at all. Although the outstanding performance of Mitchell is noted, half of Mitchell's memorable night will always be remembered as one version, Caitlin Clark. This is because she broke the record for most points scored by a rookie in a single season on that fateful day with 35 points. But wait, there's more. Clark became the fastest player to ever reach 300 assists in WNBA history. Her passing aspects have earned her comparisons to LeBron James, indicating how great a player she is. Apart from being a scorer, her skill of reading the game, making sharp passes, and raising the level of those around her is what differentiates her from others. All-around player indeed, she is adjusting with such ease to the professional basket that leaves no wonder to her many fans and analysts calling her the future of women's basketball. The sheer pace with which Clark has achieved the erstwhile unattainable targets gives nothing but a glimpse of the potential that he possesses to rule the league for a long time. And if this is her rookie season, then what more can one expect? The connection between Clark, Mitchell, and the rest of the Fever squad has sent ripples across the entire Fever franchise. Their mesmerizing movement draws defenders to themselves, thus creating chances for teammates such as Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston. Clark's ability to create plays and Mitchell's ability to score makes defenses crack, and Hull and Boston are in a position to make open shots and drives. A notable aspect of this pair is the how well they maximize the potential of their teammates. With Clark's precision passing and Mitchell's heroics when he is needed, it provides the likes of Hull and Boston to flourish in the roles they are given. Such cooperation serves not only to elevate the self-regard of the players, but also encourages team spirit within the whole lot, adding sufficient strength to the Indiana Fever being a threat to other teams. It is this way of playing off each other that has made the Fever playoff competitive for the first time in several seasons, giving a glimpse of hope to the franchise's future. The impacts of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell's historical performances cannot be restricted inside the four corners of the court. Every league, every team that is successful creates a ripple effect off of their extraordinary play. New fans have come, old ones engaged, and women's basketball is now considered a must-watch, with clamors around Clark's dynamic style, and Mitchell's steady output provided Clark is there. Their influence has added to the rise of the ticket sales in favor of Indiana Fever, which until these days has had a hard time luring large spectator. Clark's first season in the league, which was distinguished by accomplishments of all her contemporaries as well as remarkable leadership, made her a celebrity. The coverage of her games did not cease at the sports media and evolved into mainstream news as advocates of women's sports future took to her games. Those who would not have cared much about the WNBA are now watching her because they are anticipating more records being set. This heightened focus is not only gaining Clark individual success, it is boosting the entire league. In addition, the captivating relationship between Clark and Mitchell has also affected the way women's basketball is perceived in terms of the marketization and branding of it. Legend and Clark's narratives are undergoing a globalization campaign, and WNBA's image is changing as the world focuses on its sports. The basketball enthusiasts in Europe as well as Asia are becoming more and more interested in Clark's story because they consider her to be an international rising star. Social media is flooded with a number of Clark's videos showing passes without looking at the target and shooting from outside outside the arc, and so even people who do not watch much basketball recognize the name. Even outside the fandom, their performances are beginning to affect the business elements of the league. Clark and Mitchell's names have attracted so much merchandise sales that jerseys have started going out of stock. Neither sponsorship in WNBA has bottomed, as more and more brands want to be linked with the emerging faces of women's basketball. As Clark and Mitchell bask in the limelight, the finances of the WNBA continue to improve and expand, keeping the league at par with other professional sports when it comes to profitability and engagement. This transformational impact will continue to reverberate for years to come. The great accomplishments attained by Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are not only associated to the immediate gains, but are pointing to structural change to both the Indiana Fever and WNBA. After a considerable period of failure, the Fever, who were wandering about in the league looking for their identity, are back in the playoff pagination for the first time since 2016, and this change is mainly due to the chemistry of the two players. How they work together on the court has recast the definition of what it means to be at the helm of a team, demonstrating that a mixture of shoot-first and playmaking skills are beneficial to a franchise. Clark's rookie year must be said to be movie-like. She has shattered records that were once believed to last for many years, such as becoming the youngest player to register 300 assists in the shortest time possible. More fascinating, though, is that she is doing all this while still learning the ropes of the professional game. Thanks to her adaptability and a terrific understanding of the game, she was able to weather the storm and adjust in the league filled with established players. The revival of Mitchell's career with Clark has further established her place in the hierarchy of the best players in the league. With scoring almost at a career high, she is turning out to be a great asset where it shares the roof with Clark. They have been able to exploit Clark's exceptional ability to pass and Mitchell's ability to score effectively. Not limiting the connection to player-person-player only, the two have also affected a shift in culture in the Indiana Fever franchise, which transformed them from being underdogs to proper title challengers. In future, there is no question that there will be more records to break. Each of the players is relatively young and at early stage of her career, and thus has enough room for improvements and more achievements. Thanks to Clark's skill set and Mitchell's abilities, the two are in a position to carry the Fever forward to the winning ways and perhaps even winning titles in the future. Furthermore, there is too entertainment, but the expanding upon the level of women's sports. With every glass ceiling that these athletes break, they are paving a way for a new type of female athletes, one who understands that women's basketball can be as entertaining, competitive, and important culturally as men's basketball. With Clark and Mitchell spearheading the efforts, it has never been clearer that the WNBA has a very positive outlook. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are not in fact only smashing records. They are changing the WNBA one game at a time. As continuing to challenge the limits of women's basketball, all eyes are glued to the screens across the globe for history. What could be new for this indomitable pair? Well, that is difficult to say for now, but one thing is very clear. The WNBA is just changed forever. Don't be shy to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you are always in the know of all news of women's basketball. You wouldn't want to miss what is coming next.